Lord Ian Botham is a much-loved figure in world cricket, partly for what he did out in the middle, but just as much for all the money he has raised for charity. He has some incredible stories about how he got into charity and some of the crazy things he has done to raise all sorts of money for all sorts of people.
Hey, we spoke a lot about cricket, and we spoke at the start about being a Lord and a Sir, and a lot of that is to do with your cricketing performance and the way you lifted the British community, no doubt, with your performance on the ground, but a lot of it is to do with the amount of money you've raised for charity, and particular leukemia in kids. How did that, well, firstly, how much have you raised over the years, do you reckon, Beef?
It's really impossible to put a total on it because everything's rolling on.
Yeah.
I must admit, it's been tough through COVID, from the charities' point of view. A lot of them are suffering because they're just not getting everyone's very cagey, so which you understand.
Yeah,
so
give me a ballpark so people understand what you have done for people. And I don't
know, 30, 40, 50 million, I don't know, I have no idea.
Pounds?
Yeah.
So how did this start? And we'll get into the walks you've done because they are a part of my youth. I remember reading and watching and seeing the pictures. How did you come to be a position to want to raise money for kids with leukemia, mate?
Very simple. I broke a bone in my foot against the Aussies in '77 up at Headingley, and you got sent back then to your parent club. So I went back to Somerset. They took me to the hospital to see the physios after they'd done the X-rays and determine what treatment they were going to give me. So went in there, walked in with the doc, and to get to the children's ward, to get to the physios ward, you had to go through the children's ward. And walk through, and you can see kids are obviously ill, they're in traction, tubes sticking out and what have you. There were 4 lads sat at a table playing one of those board games. So I said to Dave, a club doctor, and these kids, and he said, no, these kids are seriously ill. They have leukemia. And I thought, okay, what's leukemia? I had no idea. And he explained to me in layman terms, it's cancer of the blood. So he said, you're going to have about 8 weeks treatment here for this bone to repair and get everything going. And I'm sad to say that I don't think these lads will be with us in 8 weeks' time. And true enough, they weren't. And what happened was, at the end of that, I was quite, it was pretty moving. You go in every morning, high-five the kids or, whatever, bit of fun. And walked in and... True enough, when I left the hospital, all 4 of them are gone. So I said to Dave, the doctor, I said, is there anything I can do to help? He said, well, I'll tell you what you could do. You've seen the parties that we give for the kids. In fact, you've been to them when they're about to pass. They give them a party. It could be birthday, Christmas, doesn't matter because they're on so many painkillers. It's a party. But we have no funding. So I said, okay, fine. Well, Kath and I said we'll fund the parties. Well, there was quite a lot of parties, and we thought this went on for a few years. And then in the mid-'80s, I saw an article from a dear old lady called Dr. Barbara Watson, and every summer she would go down to the south coast. She lived on the south coast, rather, and then she'd go all the way up to John O'Groats, and then meander back over 3 months. So I got the idea. I thought, wow, instead of doing this, why don't we do a sponsored walk? No one's ever done it. So I went along to do the press announcement with leukemia. And my wife, Kath, thought I was going to say London to Brighton, something sensible. Blurted out after reading that, I was going to do John O'Groats to Land's End. I'll give you a quick insight. My geography wasn't great in those days. And I didn't realise it was 400 miles from John O'Groats to the English border.
Just to the border?
Yes, then I had another 600. So 1,000 miles. And that's how it started. And we raised a lot of money. The whole country got behind it. We raised lots and lots of money. Collected over $1 million just in the buckets.
Wow.
With the collectors. And that paid for the start of the Leukemia Research Centre outside to build it outside of Glasgow. And over the years, that's been topped up. And now we have a magnificent, it's all for research centre. And the thing that keeps you going, Harry, and this is the most important part, when we started in the mid-'80s, there was a 20% chance of survival for kids with the most common form of leukemia. It's now 94%. So it's a drastic change, and that's through the guys, the research boys. They're brilliant. The grounds are made, but it doesn't just help us; it helps other forms of cancers. So I really am very proud of that, to be honest.
Hey guys, Howie here. Thank you so much for watching the Howie Games YouTube channel. We appreciate your support. Now, if you want to hear the full podcast, you can just click on the link directly below. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which would be fantastic, bang, click right there. And if you want to see more clips, highlights and updates from the Howie Games, just go that way. Thanks so much. As always, take it easy and peace and love.